I've spoken before about my love for Terrence Malick films, and specifically for his films that he released in 97 and 2005, being The Thin Red Line and The New World. These are films that for me are just really more than films, they are experiences. The direction, cinematography, the way the camera moves, the way the movies are written, are all there to give you a almost dreamlike experience as opposed to an A to B story to follow. It's something that really showcases what a film can do, how something can really move you, not just move your emotions, but move you to the core of your soul. These are really films that choose to explore the soul, and not just through storytelling, but through everything that a movie can do. It's no surprise that some of the biggest directors today look back at Terrence Malick's work as pure inspiration. But I actually want to talk about another film of his, Knight of Cups. Terrence Malick has a really fascinating filmography, and many kind of refer to what is known to be a kind of spiritual trilogy of The Knight of Cups, To the Wonder, and Song to Song. These are films that I could never ever get through, even though I claim to be such a Terrence Malick fan. I could never kind of get myself to sit down and sit through these films. It was very difficult for me, and there was this ongoing joke about how these films are kind of like too Terrence Malick, like he just completely removed the coherent storytelling from his craft and just kind of chose to focus purely on kind of weird moments, art house moments, ultra wide lenses, characters kind of looking off into the distance, looking through curtains, looking very confused, looking like they're in pain, and not really being a kind of coherent story. And I've always wanted to watch these movies, but I've never had the patience to sit down and watch it. That all changed last year when Knight of Cups was released, of all places, for free on YouTube. And I thought to myself, alright, let me just sit down and watch it, let me get through it, we've got to watch it at some point, so let me put it on. And I didn't even watch it with full attention, I watched it as a side watch. And it was everything that I expected the film to be. It was at times kind of moving, but it was kind of hard to follow. This is putting aside the fact that I was side watching it. There were many shots of Christian Bale like in the desert looking around, kind of confused, looking broken, looking like he's missing something. Actors laughing and hugging each other and touching each other. It was just a very strange film. And I wish the film was still up on YouTube because some of the comments were hilarious. One comment was like, "This is the greatest Louis Vuitton commercial I've ever seen." It finished, the credits rolled, and I thought, okay, that was nice. Well, okay, let me get on with my day. But something happened that I did not expect. And that was that the film stayed with me. It lingered with me. There was something about it that even though I was kind of laughing at it as I was watching it, I couldn't get it out of my head. I went back to the YouTube comments and I saw one comment which I'll never forget, where someone said that I was a director in Hollywood for many years, and there's something about this film that captures what it's like to be in the film industry in Hollywood. He said, I can't actually describe it. I can't describe what it is, but there's a certain emptiness to it that the film manages to capture so well. And this really made me think about the film in a whole new light, because it was also sticking with me and it lingered with me, and it made me kind of think about these two words, lingering and longing. It made me realize that all good art, in my opinion, or at least all good art that I want to create and that speaks to me, should focus on these two words, lingering and longing. Lingering meaning powerful work that you make, powerful art that you consume, lingers with you. It stays with you. Long after you've consumed it, you're reflecting on it. There's something about it where it has moved you in a way you cannot explain. And perhaps the reason it lingers with you is because it explores the idea of longing. And that is something that I feel like this film did very well. Even though the characters, to my knowledge anyway, have not outrightly said it, they are longing for something. They have this yearning inside them that they cannot explain. And I feel like that's what his films generally, and specifically this film, and perhaps all films in this kind of spiritual trilogy, do very well. They explore the idea of longing. Something that each of us has inside us. We are longing for something that we don't have. We are longing for something that we don't quite understand. And I think on a spiritual level, when a film or a TV series or a movie or any piece of art tackles that, it's something that speaks to our very soul, because we are now communicating on a level that each of us understand. Each of us has that longing inside us. And essentially it made me want to create art that does these two things. Explore the idea of longing and allow it to linger with you. Longing and lingering. Just a few months later, I made a short film which was very rooted in the religious identity of my community, but in approaching something so cultural and traditional and spiritual, it was very important for me to approach the art from that direction, meaning that I wanted to also have this as a piece of art that lingers in the minds and hearts of my community when they consume it, and that while tackling something that can often be seen as something very rigid and set in stone, it must also explore this idea of longing inside us and connect it to the thematic themes in the short film. When it comes down to it, I'm not sure if I'll ever get through the other two films of Terrence Malick's trilogy, and I'm not at all saying that Knight of Cups is one of my favorite films by far, but it had such a profound impact on me that it changed the way I look at art, and it changed what I want to do with art. And I think that's what the beauty of Terrence Malick work is that he's teaching us that art, and our craft specifically, the filmmaking craft, can be something so much more than the typical entertainment that we consume. It can be a medium not just to educate you, not just to entertain you, but to also move you deep down in a way that you cannot understand, but through that method, connect us all in a way that we do indeed understand deep down, but might not be able to express to each other verbally. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that perspective on Knight of Cups. I'd love to hear your thoughts, so please comment on the video, your perspectives on this film and Terrence Malick's other films, and please do subscribe to the channel. I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye.